Hi everyone, I'm Dan La, a Product Excellence Architect at ServiceNow. This is the first video in our Kubernetes Visibility Agent series where we'll look at how to use KVA to discover and map your Kubernetes environment. Today's agenda, we'll start with Kubernetes discovery options, KVA architecture, what it can discover, supported environments and some things worth considering as part of deployment. I'll then step through a demo on installation and upgrades and close with a summary. With Kubernetes discovery, we have a number of approaches we can take, including pattern-based discovery options, a bunch of service graph connectors, and KVA. Each do have their place and come with their own trade-offs. For a deeper look, I've included a link at the bottom to our leading practices video. With that said, KVA is the preferred option whereby it provides near real-time updates. It supports both self-hosted and cloud Kubernetes deployments. It is easy to deploy and maintain, and also supports other service mapping approaches besides tag-based. This includes calculated app services and top-down service mapping, which I'll discuss in a subsequent episode. Looking at how KVA works, when deployed, Kubernetes creates a deployment resource in the cluster. This resource contains a pod called the Informer, which connects to the Kubernetes API server and listens for changes to the cluster resources, such as namespaces, pods, and services. The Informer writes these events to an in-memory queue, and from there sends the data to the instance through the ECC queue. Scheduled jobs then process the data and updates the appropriate classes and relationships in the CMDB. On the discovery side, KVA can discover the cluster itself down to namespaces, nodes, workloads, network resources, and individual containers and images. Resource labels and annotations are stored in related records in the CMDB key value table, where it can be used for tag-based service mapping. Refer to the KB at the bottom for a full breakdown of what's discovered and how it maps to the CMDB. On the environment side, KVA has been tested on Kubernetes versions up to 1.35. It supports all major cloud platforms as well as OpenShift and on-prem clusters. Both AMD 64 and ARM 64 architectures are supported, but do refer to the support matrix KB for further details. And also do use both links to stay up to date with future KVA changes. Before deploying KVA, a few things worth considering. No memory limit is set by default, therefore setting an appropriate memory limit for the Informer pod is quite important. As a guide, set the memory limit to at least the number of pods divided by 8. So for a cluster with 5,000 pods, you want a minimum of 625 megs. For environments where continuous discovery is enabled, look at adjusting full discovery from every 24 hours to every few days, since you don't need to run it as frequently. And for non-critical clusters, if continuous near real-time discovery isn't needed, disable it. It's also worth staggering your full discovery schedules if you have multiple clusters to avoid hitting the instance at the same time. By default, KVA uses 4 concurrent worker threads to process KVA-related records in the ECC queue, which is enough for around 300 clusters. But if you have more clusters or clusters going through quite frequent changes, you can increase this up to 14 by setting a system property. KVA supports some configuration changes through the ServiceNow interface. Just be aware that if you're using Helm, applying changes through the ServiceNow interface will cause drift from your Helm config. So think about how your team manages Kubernetes updates at the moment before settling on an approach. This applies to the upgrades as well. And if you need to extend or filter what KVA discovers, this is also possible. I'll be covering this topic as part of this series. I've included some references at the bottom relating to these considerations. Onto the demo. With our demo environment, we're using an instance on Australia Patch 2 with 3 key plugins: Discovery, Service Mapping, and the Kubernetes Visibility Agent. For Kubernetes, we're using Minikube to run a single node cluster locally on a Windows box. The demo app deployed to the cluster is called BookInfo. It's a sample app from Istio made up of 4 microservices. The production page is the front end. It pulls details for BookInfo and reviews for reviews. and reviews cause a rating service. All right, the installation steps I'll go through is all on our docs website, and you'll need to work with the Kubernetes team on this. But for this demo, I've installed kubectl and Helm on my laptop to interact with the cluster. Here's my demo instance, and I've created a user with a mid-server role for the Informer to communicate with the instance. And the March 2026 release of the KVA plugin is also installed. Querying the cluster, we can see that the Bookinfo demo app has been deployed to the default namespace. It consists of various resources, including pods, services, deployments, and replica sets. And this is what the front-end website looks like. Next, we need to create a namespace that we can use to deploy KVA into. We'll call it ServiceNow. A secret containing the creds of our ServiceNow user also needs to be added. It'll be used by the Informer. In the demo, we're using basic auth, but OAuth is also supported. And if your cluster is hosted in the cloud, the credentials can be stored in Secret Manager or Key Vault 2. Just follow the steps in the docs. We're good to install KVA now. We can use either Helm chart or a Kubernetes YAML file provided by ServiceNow. I'll be using Helm. I'm going to add the ServiceNow repo first to make things a bit easier to manage. Quickly do a refresh. List what's in the ServiceNow repo. We're interested in the top chart and quickly looking at the different versions that's available. I'm going to install a slightly older version as I want to show how to do an upgrade later. My release is called K8S Informer. I'm deploying version 2.63. If you want to install the latest version, just drop this parameter. I've also specified my instance name, given my cluster name, and as I've got a relatively small cluster, I'm setting the memory limit to 200 megs, which matches the memory request. Querying the pods, we can see that the Informer is up and running. One more thing I want to make mention is the Informer comes with a service account. This service account is used by the Informer when calling the API server. It has read-only access to understand what's going on with resources within the cluster. Jumping into the instance, we can see the Informer that was just deployed. It's running 2.63 and a full discovery has been kicked off. For troubleshooting purposes, you can also grab the logs directly from within the instance without needing to engage the Kubernetes team. Looking at the ECC queue, we can watch the communication between the instance and the deployed KVA. Filter the topic column to see Kubernetes related records. We have an input and output queue. Output is for KVA to do, and input relates to messages sent by KVA to the instance for processing. As full discovery has been completed, we can take a look at the discovered resources now. We have our cluster that we named SN Demo, drilling in and looking at the dependency map. If we take a look at the map of the default namespace, we can see the interdependencies between the Bookinfo resources that match up to the kubectl output. Before I demo and upgrade, I want to show a near real-time update by creating a new resource. I'll first tail the Informer log so we can see what's going on. Now I'll create a new namespace. You can see that the Informer has picked up this change and queuing this event to send to the ServiceNow instance. If we jump to the ECC queue and monitor for an incoming message, once the message comes through, and if we take a look at the payload, we can see it contains information on the new namespace we created. And refreshing our cluster, the new namespace CI has been created. And lastly, I'll demo an upgrade. First thing we want to do is add a couple of columns to help understand what is going on. You can see the two upgrade fields are empty or blank initially. Jumping to KVA properties, ensure you're in the Kubernetes Visibility Agent scope so you can make changes. Here you need to point to the image you want to upgrade to. ServiceNow posts KVA images on Docker Hub, but if you're hosting the image in your own internal repo and your repo requires authentication, you'll need to create a secret for it. Check the docs for instructions. We'll be pointing to ServiceNow's public repo, so no authentication is required. We're going to upgrade to the latest 2.71. Click Save. Going back to the Informer, we can see the upgrade status column is now populated. It's aware that the deployed version does not match the image we just set. We have two approaches to upgrade. If you were to have multiple Informers deployed, you can do a bulk upgrade or you can upgrade them individually. Before I click the upgrade, I'll run a watch against the pods within the ServiceNow namespace so we can see what happens. Click Upgrade. Navigate back to the list of Informers. The status changes to upgrading. On the Kubernetes side, the Informer picks up the request to upgrade, and a new version of the Informer pod is spun up while the old one's terminated. The UI also updates to reflect the change, and now it matches the image we specified in the properties. It'll take a minute or so before it registers as up. While we wait, I'll quickly touch on next full discovery. By default, it's set to every 24 hours. You can alter the next run occurrence by changing the date here. Important when controlling the execution where there are multiple clusters. And that's the end of the demo. Wrapping up, we covered the Kubernetes discovery options and why KVA is the preferred choice. We looked at how KVA works, its architecture, and how data flows back to your ServiceNow instance. We also walked through the key things to think about before you deploy, and then saw how straightforward the deployment and upgrade process is. Thanks for joining, and see you in the next episode.